This is my Wednesday's word for May the 12th. A couple of years ago now, our son gave Nita and I the gift of an electronic device called a Pixstar. It's a tablet about the size of an iPad with a video screen. It's connected to the internet and has its own email address. Pretty neat. All our family has the address, and they can send us via email pictures and videos. And almost everything we receive, and it's been hundreds so far, is pictures of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We now have 10 great-grandchildren. The device sits on an end table in our living room, and anytime we're in the room, it comes on and begins showing picture after picture of those precious children. It's wonderful. All we have to do is lay back in the recliner and watch the show. We love it. But let me tell you, video is no substitute for hugs and kisses. No amount of pixels can take the place of in-person visits. I think the Apostle John would have understood my sentiments. You see, John wrote 4 of the books of our New Testament. The longest and best known of these, of course, is the book of Revelation. But he also wrote 3 others, not so much books as letters. Letters to friends he hadn't seen in a while. In 1 John, the longest of the 3, he wrote more as a preacher-teacher than a personal letter. But 2nd and 3rd John are shorter and more personal, intimate. In both of these, he said something similar. For instance, in 2 John verse 12, he said, "Though I have much to write to you, I would rather not use paper and ink. Instead, I hope to come to you and talk face to face so that our joy may be complete." And in 3 John verses 13 and 14, he again said, "I had many things to write, but I do not wish to write to you with pen and ink. But I hope to see you shortly, and we shall speak face to face." He knew, you see, the value of the personal touch and the joy of being together. Electronics such as cellular phones, tablets, and computers have changed our lives. It's true, we now have much more contact electronically, but we have poorer relationships. In recent months, even worship services have gone digital. We now have online church. Some call it e-church. Many pastors and churches have gotten into streaming and posting services on Facebook and YouTube. And these have served a good purpose during the pandemic. But e-church is not really church. The Bible calls on us to assemble. Hebrews 10 and 25 still says, "Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as is the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching." You cannot assemble online. It's really impossible to sing together and make a joyful noise together over the internet. John knew the importance and value of being together. It's time, I believe, for God's people to get together. The songwriter Gordon Jensen wrote a song years ago that I love to sing. It says in the first verse, "When God's people get together, you know that very soon wonderful things are going to happen as His presence fills the room. And right now I am expecting something special, something more, because we're together again, just praising the Lord." Great song. Now, we all know nothing can replace flesh and blood relationships. There's nothing like being together, praising the Lord. And I believe now that it's time for God's people to get together again. We need to get back together in church and worship together and make a joyful noise unto the Lord together. Those things that we cannot do from our living room, we can do when we come together in the house of the Lord. I think maybe this week would be a good time for you to come back to church, and let's get together again. May God bless you is still my prayer.